Hey, I'm glad you're joining me as we are doing this series called 5 Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman. In my nearly 50 years of ministry, I've listened to countless individuals share their secret pain of not feeling loved and cared for. And they use words like this: our love is gone. Our relationship is on its last legs. We used to feel close, but not now. We no longer enjoy being with each other. We don't meet each other's needs. In fact, I remember talking with one man about his marriage. He put it this way. He said, "My marriage is in jeopardy. We got some bad mojo going on in our house, Pastor." And I'm not sure I know all that means, but here's what I'm thinking. When two people argue or are critical or speak harshly or act out toward one another, is it possible that they are doing so because their love tank has been drained and there's nothing there? Absolutely. And wouldn't it be great if we could find a way to keep those love tanks registering full? Again, absolutely. Now, last week, we looked into the love language of quality time, giving those we love and do life with our undivided attention when we're speaking and interacting with each other. Today we're going to look at 2 more of these love languages, beginning with this one, words of affirmation. Writer and humorist Mark Twain once said, "I can live for 2 months on a good compliment." So if we take Twain literally, that means 6 compliments a year would have kept his emotional love tank filled. Now, I don't know about you, but those I'm loving, and they need way more than that. And so do I. How about you? So what are words of affirmation? Well, they are words that build up and encourage, words that challenge one another to something greater or better. But here's the sad thing. So many today have never learned or just choose to ignore the tremendous power of verbal affirmation. Proverbs 18:21 says, "The tongue has the power of life and death." Proverbs 12:25 says, "An anxious heart weighs a man down, but a kind word cheers him up." So let's talk about this for a moment. There are 3 dialects to this particular love language. The first one is complimenting words. Verbal compliments are powerful communicators of love, and they don't have to be super flowery or long drawn out to be effective. In fact, they are best expressed in simple, straightforward statements. Things like, "You look great in that shirt," or, "Wow, do you look nice in that dress? Color is perfect for you. You're the best cook ever. Look at this spread. Your smile just makes my day. Thank you so much." Simple, right? And what would happen to the emotional climate of a relationship at home or work if those involved heard words that compliment on a regular basis? Then number 2 is encouraging words. Remember that the word encourage means to inspire to courage. You see, all of us have areas in which we feel insecure and in which we lack courage. And that lack of courage often hinders us from accomplishing the positive things that we would like to accomplish. And then what happens is we get smothered by regrets, and those regrets bring guilt. And then the guilt leads to more regrets, turning into a vicious cycle. Here's a great example. Let's say your wife or husband says to you, "You know, I think I might enroll in Weight Watchers this week. I just need to lose this weight." Now you have an opportunity to offer this kind of encouragement. You might say, "Well, you know what? If you decide to do that, I can tell you one thing. You'll be successful at it. That's one of the things I admire about you, by the way. When you set your mind to something, wow, you just do it. And don't worry about the cost of the program. If that's what you want to do, we'll find the money somehow." That's encouragement. That's inspiring to courage. The bottom line is that verbal encouragement is all about communicating, "I know, I care, I'm with you, how can I help?" Which will result in the one we are speaking to understanding that we believe in them and his or her abilities. And for some, encouraging words may be difficult to speak. I get that. especially if this is not your primary love language. However, if you live with someone or are in a relationship with someone who has this as their primary love language, I promise you it will be worth the effort for you to learn it. So complimenting words. Number 2, encouraging words. And number 3, pleasing words. 1 Corinthians 13:4, Paul says, love is patient and love is what? Kind. Therefore, communicating love through affirmation means we must utilize kind and pleasing words. So how do we do that? Especially if you're not a man or woman of words. Or if it's not your primary love language, but you think it might be the love language of the one that you love. Let me suggest you begin by keeping a notebook called Words of Information. When you read an article or a book, or you see something online about loving one another, record the words of affirmation you find there. Maybe you hear someone else using affirming words. Write them down. And what happens is, in time, you'll collect a whole list of great words and ways to communicate love to those that you love. And in particular, to that one whose primary language is words of affirmation, you will be filling their tank as you share those kinds of words. You can also come in the side door with this one. Watch this. Try giving affirming words about the one you love to someone else. Maybe their friends or their family members. In other words, don't be afraid to brag on that one you love to your friends. And I guarantee you, when you do that, it will get back to your wife or back to your husband very quickly. And along those lines, affirm your loved one in front of other people. Don't make it something that just happens behind closed doors in your house. This is my daughter. She's the most amazing girl you'll ever meet. Those kinds of things. I had a dad come up to me after service one Sunday. It's been years ago now, but I still remember it. He wanted me to meet his high school son. Now this son, he introduced me to his son. This son standing there has spiked up mohawk, neon colored hair, piercings all over, lots and lots of ink. Now this was 25 years ago when that wasn't quite that noticeable. And this man, without batting an eye, introduced me to his son, and he said this, Pastor, this is my son, and I wanted you to meet him because he is a great kid, and I am just so stinking proud to be his dad. Don't you know that his son's love tank was filled to overflowing that day as he walked out of the building? I know it was. Okay, next on our list is my love language, and that is receiving gifts. A gift is something you can hold in your hand and say, look, she was thinking of me, or look, he remembered me, which is the magic of this language, that the recipient knows you must be thinking of them to give them a gift. The gift itself is a symbol of that particular thought. And it doesn't matter whether it costs money, even lots of money, because what is truly important is that you thought of that person. Now, for all of us, gifts are these visual symbols of love for everyone. Like in a wedding, there's the giving and the receiving of rings. When I officiate a wedding, I say something like, these rings are the outward and visible identifiers of an inward love and commitment that has no end. And those words are not just empty rhetoric. Rather, they are verbalizing a very significant truth. Symbols have emotional value. I mentioned the cost of the gift is not always an issue with the person who has this as their love language. That's true. Unless it's greatly out of line with what you can afford. For instance, if a multimillionaire gives you $10 or a $10 gift, you have a legitimate right at that point to question whether that's truly an expression of that person's love. But when the family finances are really tight, a $10 gift may speak $1 million worth of love. And incidentally, gifts may be purchased, found, or even made. The man who stops along the roadside to pick his partner some wildflowers has found himself a way to express love. Unless, of course, he goes home and his partner is allergic to wildflowers. For a person who can afford it, you can purchase a beautiful card for around $5 or $6 and write affirming love words in it. For a person who can't afford that, you can make a card for free. For example, get some paper out of the trash can where you work. I mean, just take a piece out there. Fold it in the middle, take scissors and cut out a heart and write, I love you, and give it when you get home. Because you see, it's not the monetary value as much as it is in the thoughtfulness of that particular gesture, especially for someone who has gifts as their love language. Now, someone might say, well, but Pastor, what about me? I know my partner speaks gifts language, but I've never been a gift giver myself. I don't really care if I ever get any gifts. That was how I was raised. I didn't receive many gifts growing up. So it just doesn't come natural for me. Well, congratulations. You've just made the first discovery in becoming a great lover. And that is you and your spouse speak different love languages. So now you get busy and learn yourself a second language, right? And frankly, this love language here is the easiest one to learn. I mean, buy a gift, make a gift, give it in love, give it regularly. That's it. I mean, it's simple, easy peasy, right? So if you have a friend or a family member with this love language, do this. Make a list of all the gifts that person has expressed excitement about receiving through the years. It might be gifts you have given or gifts given by other family members or friends. The list that you make there will give you an idea of the kind of gifts that person would enjoy receiving. And listen, don't wait for a special occasion. If receiving gifts is his or her primary love language, almost anything you give will be received as an expression of love to them. So, to summarize, the one who has this love language is not into materialism as such, but rather the love and thoughtfulness and effort behind the gift that is given. Therefore, if you have a family member with this love language, that one will thrive and be fulfilled with the perfect, well thought out gift. The gift that takes some effort or sacrifice to provide, no matter how big or small it is. Because a gift like that speaks to them that they are known by you. It speaks to them that they are known by you and that they are cared for by you and that they are prized by you. Let me close today with 2 verses. In James chapter 1, verse 17 says, every good and perfect gift comes from above, from the Father. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 6 says, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. Now listen, God is our example in all of these love languages, and in particular with this one concerning gifts. Because God knows us. He knows each of us intimately and inside out. And wherever you have a need today, wherever you desire to be loved and appreciated and cared for, always remember that His grace gifts will flow to you in all of those areas. Because our God is gracious, He is benevolent, and He will be leading the way to fill your love tank to overflowing. Well, that's all for today. We'll wrap this series up next week. You'll really get a kick out of next week, and I hope you'll join me then. Father, I pray for everyone watching. I thank you that you meet all of our needs. I thank you, God, that your gracious love gifts comes to us in all the situations of life where we need them the most. And we praise you for that today. So whoever's watching this, whatever need they carry, whatever hurt is going on in their heart or in their life, I pray you would display your gracious and munificent love to them, that you would just overwhelm them with the knowledge of your watch care and your love for them and for what's going on in their situation. And I pray this in your name. Amen. Thanks again for joining me. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.